Data augmentation are techniques to increase the amount of data by simply modifying the existing data. We do it when we have small amount of samples for our training set and we don't have access to more samples, then we can create new data from the existing data. It also acts as a regularizer and helps reducing overfitting when training a machine learning model. It increases the diversity of data without actually collecting new data and makes sure that the different regions of an image are taken into consideration. Some common techniques include flipping, horizontal shifting, vertical shifting, adding noise to images, or rotating the images by zooming in or zooming out, cropping, or even varying the colors. In our example, we have achieved data augmentation by horizontal shift, vertical shift, zooming, vertical flip, and rotation.
Now we will continue with data pre-processing. We have taken a category list with two categories, affected and normal. We have taken an empty list named data, and for every element in category list we have stored path of folder and index as target variable, and for every image in folder we have stored horizontally shifted image along with target variable which is affected or normal in the data list. Finally, we have printed length of data. Similarly, we have done this for vertical shift, zoom, vertical flip, rotation, and at the end we have appended all original images. So finally we have a total of 4800 images as the data set. Next we have just displayed an image. From sklearn.model_selection we have imported train_test_split, which is used for splitting the data into training and testing set. We have used a test size of 0.25. Also, we have randomly shuffled the data so that images are chosen randomly every time for training and testing, and stored all the features in X1 list and labels in Y1 list. Now we have imported TensorFlow and its important libraries. Then we have converted training dataset into array and reshaped each image. Then we have normalized it. For target variables we have converted it into array. Finally, we get this output where 3600 is the number of images in training set with height and width of each image, which is 100 each, and number of channels, which is 1.
We will now understand the CNN architecture we have used for tuberculosis detection. We have used binary entropy as the loss function, as you can see here. We have further used ADAM as the optimizer. We have used ReLU activation function in the inner layers and sigmoid activation function for the output layer, as it is a binary classification problem. The number of formulas are given for number of parameters of CNN and fully connected layer. Let's start with the model. We have initially started with a convolutional layers of 64 filters of size 3x3. Activation function is ReLU. It is followed by a max pooling layer of size 2x2. Again, same process is repeated. We have a convolutional layer of 64 filters of size 3x3 and again a max pooling layer of pool size 2x2. Again, there are two more convolutional layers of 32 filters of size 3x3 followed by max pooling layers of size 2x2. So in total, there are 4 convolutional layers. It is followed by a flattened layer. The flattened layer is used to convert a 2D dimensional feature matrix into a 1D vector so that it can be inputted to a dense layer, that is a fully connected layer. Further following is a fully connected layer which consists of 512 neurons and activation function ReLU for each of the neuron. Further, we have applied dropout. Dropout is mainly used to prevent overfitting of the model, and the parameter which you can see here, 0.5, is basically the amount of neurons that would be left out or that would be dropped. Similarly, it is again followed by a fully connected layer of 64 neurons with each having activation function as ReLU. Again, it is followed by a dropout layer. This is the output layer where we have a single neuron and the activation function is sigmoid, so it will output either 0 or 1. 0 meaning the person is affected and 1 is not. Then we compile the model with loss functions as I previously mentioned as binary cross entropy, optimizer ADAM, and metrics accuracy. We fit the model for 15 epochs and store the results. When the size of the dataset was less and augmentation was not performed, we obtained a training accuracy of 82% and a testing accuracy of 58.50%. After performing augmentation and increasing the size of the dataset, we obtained a training accuracy of 79.67% and a testing accuracy of 60.42%.